Hey there, Capricorn. This is Joy of Joy of the World here to take a quick peek into the second half of April for you guys. There is a theme coming on in. Why? Because they wanted to. And it's centralizing around this card called gestation. Now, if you watch the afternoon delight for April 21st, it's going to let you know a little bit about the background going on here. But it's talking about letting nature take its course of the power of the sun, the fire, okay, the son of fire, and also the daughter of water, allowing the rain, the emotions, the feelings to come through and process. Now, I made a few notes. It talks about stop trying to clear and transform the energy and your feelings, moving from EXCEPTING, accepting, to ACCEPTING, accepting. Okay, so our affirmation for this read is I generate love by trusting my truth. Now, where this energy came on in is they told me to go inside and get crystal cards to really support each of these readings, and they came in inverted. They spun themselves around and they said they have something to say with the fuchsite and the clear calcite. So it's about trying to clear things up and work it through and process it through. Capricorn has been in a hyper work mode for lifetimes, right? And they're saying let nature take its course, meaning give it a little time, give it a little space, give it a little bit of energy, and watch how things begin to sparkle and shine. They will break it down in proper order as need be. So I see Erte dancing up a little bit. We have Erte and Muriel coming in to give us some strong clarity here. So let's get this read going as to what Capricorn can expect during the last couple of weeks of April and this Taurus season as we have shifted into that. Now, Taurus for this first part is wide open. There's so much unearthing and upheaval going on that it could be a bit shocking. But the thing is to align your attitude to move with as opposed to against, and that will keep you from losing any elbows, my friend. Okay, so they're telling me to begin to be a little bit more a little less abstract, should I say, with the words going on here. That's a bunch of noise, so let me take a look at the numbers and see what it is they're talking about. We got a couple of 7s and a 6 over here. We have the 6 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Wands. So this 4 of Wands is where we really want to start. This is about embracing yourself, that there has been a sacrifice, a loss of life in order for you to be fine like wine, to be divine of who you are. And that's why they're wanting you to slow it down and give it a break. You need to rest, recoup, and recover here. And that doesn't mean recoup like go out and get things to bring in. It's not the recouping of the material. Because remember, Capricorn, we began to work in several months ago the facet of the and, the ampersand, the love and the money. You're needing to recoup in love, some self-love, some self-nurturing. And a lot of this has to do with restraint is a word that could temper it out a bit. But not holding back and not holding out. Just allowing the power of nature itself to contribute. Because as you know, Cappy, if you're a Cappy sun, now we're the whole zodiac here, right? But part of the essence of our Capricornian selves, of any of us, is to keep our most painful, deep, dark secrets down below. That's very much a Lilith characteristic, and Lilith is showing up in the big bang that is happening in the second half of April, okay? So Lilith is kind of saying, allow me to work for you. She's like the little sister of Pluto, so it can be empowerment, but it's like the seed making its way through the crust of the earth. If you go back and watch the April 21st read, which reminds you they are always timeless, even if they are dated, is talking about the daughter of water going down into the buried Marianas Trench and pulling up the Atlantean energy, pulling up the memories and the matrix, very much Metatron type energy. But when Metatron begins to move, the dispersion of Sandalphon is going to begin to occur. So watch magic happen is kind of what they're asking you to do here, okay? And that leaves a little bit of this, you know, baby, you're a firework, man or woman, okay, Cappy? And no, I love you. So here we have the Jack of Spades and the Queen of Hearts coming on in. Talk about blue skies smiling at you. Allow this wedge to be the attitude, the window that dissipates the logic mind, the fear-based knowledge, that because kind of when you're in the dark and you hear a bump of noise that is unfamiliar, fear, okay, that central nervous system response of fight or flight is the first thing to activate. They're wanting to dissipate that, to temper it down, remember, to move it out. That's the recouping that needs to be done, is to trust in the goodness of love, the love of love, okay, and the love of life, and that life that life loves life too. So we'll break here for a minute. If you're not a fan or a friend of the channel, then you can just click off. But they've been asking me for a long time to share my story. And if you are a Cappy Sun, you know what that's like. You don't want to, right? Because the things that are deep and painful, you often keep to yourself, because people say the most ridiculous things because they don't want to go to that level of feeling. Cappies feel deep. And so it's these deep feelings coming up. Well, my son's missing. He had had a skull fracture and a brain injury right around a year ago. And so having to try and go through the therapy of that through the last year, and has moments of unclarity and is gone. No shoes, no phone, no money, no anything. So that's why I fell off the planet last week. Been trying to put myself together. See, all these messages are very real, and I take them all to heart, and I don't come from here, y'all. I trust that where they're coming from, maybe many of us are going through some deep transitions that need to be brought to the light. And I want you to know I see you and I love you, and I'm believing with you for life. So I love that life treasures life, okay? So let's set down that fear. Let's let it go down, and let's let that seed of life come on up, because it wouldn't be so trepidatious if it didn't mean so much to you, to your heart, okay? So that's funny, okay? Well, here's the Queen of Hearts. Allow it to remain in that innocent state, the heart to blossom. This is like a peony blossom, and kind of like in the profusion of cherry blossoms. And now cherry blossoms represent cheerfulness, cheeriness. So allow bubbles of cheeriness to effervesce and to make their way up. And they're wanting you to be true to the moments of your emotions, because they're not really emotions, okay? They're feelings. When they occur and when they happen, they're in their truest form. So allow yourself to feel them then. It's when we suppress them, we bury them, we table them for later, we put them off. If you're hearing put, check out the Taurus season read, because it's applicable to all of us, not just Taurians, right? When we put it off, it begins to become kind of like a cocktail. It becomes altered, and it becomes an amplifier, all right? So it can become volatile, a trigger, a stigma, any of those things, but all those are painful and wounding. And that's not what life is expecting for us. That's not what life is contributing to us. Life is bringing this in. Let's open our eyes and begin to see with truth, okay? Excuse me. Somebody's firework, they're like, whoop, that one was a dud. So remember our affirmation. I generate love by trusting my truth. And here we come in the Eight of Pentacles. There is the unknown knocking at the door. It's something from quite a while back, because this Eight of Pentacles is showing up as a reward for that long lost hard work. It's interesting because the halo here is showing up Plutonian and Uranian energy combined. It's like kind of like going back to the 70s is what I'd have to say. If you're a newbie or a youngin', that could be something from past life energy. And I don't talk about that too much as of yet until they want me to. But you can bring in your hopes for the future today, okay? Because what can be past is also our future. But the way we anchor it in is in the today. So open the red door of destiny and trust your divinity. Trust your heart to get you through this, okay? Hold tight, baby. That's interesting. There was an offering and a speak. Okay, so the offering is which? The offering is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so everything you need, you have within you. Here's that pink peony blossom opening up over here that we saw. Let me dig her out. Going along with this Queen of Hearts, okay? That's interesting because it's in the sacral region where your deepest dreams have come. Just like checking out the April 21st read, that's where our seeds, that's where things got buried for a time. So there is going to be a bit of emotional upheaval. That also could be why you check out the April 20th read or the Tarian season read, because it's talking about there's going to be that discharge of static, that discharge of emotion. And in that, there is the ripple or the temptation, not mental. This is physical, to allow the body to respond and react. It's going to try and react in a certain way. And our job is not to repress it, nor to sustain it, but to just allow it to exhale and move on out. They're saying at that point, it's a good time that you can neutralize and just do that by inhaling and exhaling, and not allowing the mind to run off like a wild stallion, okay? Nor the heart to begin to hide and escape. They're wanting us to go forward into what? The Two of Wands, our personal power of a whole new world. And that's the thing, the Two of the Wands is we hold the power of the world in our hands, but it's what we speak that either turns it and moves us in the direction of the new, the unknown, like what is knocking at the door, this opportunity that's coming in here to you of change and powerful change. And not just powerful change, but change of power, where your empowerment is aligning and who and how you see yourself, all right? So light it up, babe. Let the stars come in and decorate and dress you. They're saying with frivolity. That's a bit of luxury. That's a bit eccentric. That means that you're abounding and that there's plenty and that there's more than enough. So they're saying, let go of the knuckles of restraint. Just let it ease, okay? Move from the accepting into the accepting, okay? EXC to the ACC. Put in your zip code. So here we step into the moon, and this is a moon of commandment. This isn't just one where it's no longer the era of where we have like empath, projection, rejection, all these things being cast onto the mind's eye. We've gone, and this will drive us down into the depths of the heart and move it back into its center, the center of our being, because we need to be connected to life up here in our intelligence above our head. That's when our moon becomes activated in its whole self, no longer unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind having the breaks in between. They operate as a whole. Like instead of ingredients any longer, they become a cake, or instead of ingredients, they become a stew or a soup. They're coming together into a whole new dish. And I'm hearing them say clearly, enliven us. So how are we going to enliven this? This is talking about back from the death. So Pluto, many of you have lost some deep, dark, heartfelt, powerful. They're talking about imaginings. So something in life, like a spark or a dream, that, like a stretched dream that asked you to go out and beyond, and then you felt jaded, jilted, left at the altar. Okay, that's the stuff that's wanting to speak into your truth and to be restored and returned. It's very holy, it's very precious, which means it's very painful. Okay, painful, yeah. Death and the Hermit. Something so impactful that it changed your life and caused you to be a whole different person. It's stepping down in vibrancy, stepping down in vitality, your ability to move and to operate. Like I had the head injury 19 years ago and had been fighting to keep any body coordination. And as you get one, another goes out. So kind of the spinning plates type energy going on in. But here it's showing like losing your mind in this death. Losing your mind, almost like in believing that pleasure would never exist for you again, that it's just a life of degradation and pain. And it seems to be going downhill, fighting a losing battle for some of you. But they're saying that's untrue. The moon is actually saying this. The moon is asking you to remember divine order and those delicious, delightful dreams. They're saying go beyond the ceiling of your mind. Begin to connect with life, that intelligence. Let me dig down here, right up here. This is that chakra where we take the leap of faith and we begin to connect with life and pour our heart out to life and allow life to pour its heart, its wisdom, its juiciness into us. So with that, we're going to get a moon card who is here at the bottom. Self-reflection. This is that new energy, that 4D coming on in. So it's total trip, that the earth and energy, the depths of the water, what was buried for a time, because the skies is heaven as well. That's the waters, and beneath the earth is the waters. So they're coming together to totally swallow the earth. Dreams and desires. Oh, baby, I pray for us right now. Anybody feeling swallowed up by this, that stepping out into the nature. Remember, let nature take its course. And I would say expose yourself to some nature, because that's where you're going to feel like you can breathe again, okay? And catch your breath in the midst of this quick exchange. This popped it all. That quick exchange that opened it all. Patience, look at that. That's showing me a bit of a birthing going on here. Not just the pains of birth, but the afterbirth. The thing that fed it and kept it alive. So we're not just clearing that out, because see, what was once life has now become death. All right, it's the thing, we're at an ending of endings. We're in a whole life transitional stage, moving into a new 40-year phase. Not to get too deep into that here, because that's unnecessary, but they're wanting us to push this. So it's casting, you've been carrying that world around with you for some time. So it is a seed into the ground, and watch the moon do its work. When you release it, when you allow it, when you allow yourself sometimes some independence and some clarity. Because the thing about the octopus that is showing up in this seed is the octopus lays down its life for its children, for the next generation, over and over and over again, in order to protect them. It doesn't go out and feed itself. So this is a nod to not just resilience, but the ability to bounce back from what was once a period of time, that hermitage, because that's what the octopus does. Goes into a hermit, a recluse type mode in order to protect what? These seeds. It has already made its way into the soil. Allow the son of fire and the daughter of water to take its course, bypassing the logic mind. It's going to bypass down through the earth's core, underneath into the body of water. Interesting. Hot moon extremes coming in. So this is talking about releasing this energy, releasing, this is like chaos is showing up here, frenetic, friction, frustration, trying to make it work, trying to make it work, trying to make it work. That's what the EX, acceptance, okay, the exception that they're trying to move out is that friction, that frenetic, that earthen, into the acceptance, allowing the water and the sky to begin to meet, heaven and that earth to begin to meet. The heaven and earth, they're coming together, the waters of love, your truth, okay, friend? And so we have the sixth, the whole new environment becomes cosmic at that point in time. It makes the shift and the change into the self-love, and your mind begins to blossom with new abundance, not just this distorted energy. Nothing against the skull there, but those are poppies, all right? They create a distortion of the mind and a dystopia going on, where we want to bring in the utopia, all right? The golden crown, the goldness mind, the goldness self from the pure heart, the heart of trust, okay? I generate love by trusting my truth. Cappy, I believe in you. If you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button, hop on this joy train. Also leave your comments or your compliments down below. Yourself, me, anyone else that you want to bring up there, but always remember to be kind. Know that I love you. Check out any of the reads and maybe rewind to some reads from about 6 months ago. They are showing up as relevant and highly important at this time. I love you. Bye.